All right, I kind of already inked this one, so I went a little bit further than I normally do, but I'm going to go ahead and um, color it now. It's a tough one because the backyard is very small, and I'm meeting with her today at 11 o'clock. So I got to kind of rock and roll on this one. She already made some changes before I even got back to my home office. So I already made those changes on this plan. She's actually a lady that I met in a town called Rancho Cordova. She bought a new home in this subdivision, and it was kind of odd, the subdivision, because it's the first one that I ran into that they didn't have any natural gas plumbed to the whole subdivision. There was a time there where they were doing that in Oakland, I think was where they had the big lawsuit. And it was just really odd because the natural gas heaters is the most efficient way to go. And I know a lot of times people are trying to sell these heat pumps, but they don't work. They're not as efficient here in California. You need to have humidity to transfer the heat. So in terms of efficiency, the natural gas ones are the best. I think that she just got to the point because of that and other things about the subdivision. She just couldn't live there. She ended up buying a new place, which is a better deal for her because it's right across the street from her brother. So it's always nice to have family around. And this one though too is small. It is bigger than her last house, but it is still pretty small. So I'm gonna have to try to get this thing into a really tight area. It needs to be dug with a conveyor belt system. We're going to be bringing the conveyor belt through here. That's only 4'9" to bring it in. Gonna have two little backhoes that go with it. So we'll dig it from the deep end back over here to the shallow end and then dig through the spa to get out. Got a waterfall on this side. Got the spa here. First step, second step has a love seat. This is a third step to get you down to 3.5 feet. This over here is a 9-inch shelf. We call it a, this one here is what we call a plunge pool. So you come out to the edge here and you just jump right off and you're in 6 feet of water. She wanted it there because that was the last place in her backyard where she gets sun. I was having a big issue with this equipment because the equipment is usually 4x9. So originally I had drawn it in here, then I tried to draw it in here, but it was too close here. So I think I'm gonna split the equipment. I haven't done that in a while, but I know it can be done. Heater going on one place here, and pool pump and everything else going here. The only factor I don't know about is I have to have 30 inches of clearance on the quick disconnect. If it's right there, that might be a little bit of an issue. Not the end of the world, but something we have to address. And then I was going to put a block wall around here, but you can't put a block wall, you know, where you need to have gates that open up. It'll actually have to have 2 opening gates. So I haven't even cleared it with her. She'll have to look at it, but I'm trying to get the most efficient space that I can for somebody. So that's what I'm going to do here. I think I might even go ahead and draw in a 5-foot umbrella table. That way she can see what I'm talking about in terms of space. So we'll stick one right here. This represents a 5-foot umbrella table and 4 chairs going around it. Just to show that, you know, what kind of area you need for that to sit in. And then this is the perspective here. It's not, truly perfect, but at least they kind of get an idea. So we're going to go ahead now and I'm going to color it. Then I have to price it out. And I don't have a lot of time. I have about 45 minutes. I was going to try to go to the office this morning, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, I could, but I'd be running up a little bit late. Which is okay, because this is the only appointment I have. Today is Good Friday. And I'm going to church tonight. We went last night for Monday, Thursday. So we might end up having to go again. I mean, we will end up going again. So I asked my 6 o'clock appointment if I could reschedule it. It's one I already signed up, so he was real cool with it. When I had finished it last time, she had the builder coming by, and she was telling me when I come back today that she wants to get signed up. And I was like, well, I don't sign people up on that appointment. Then later I started thinking, if she wants to get signed up, maybe I'll just go ahead and sign her up, because I don't want to not get her off the street, because you just never can tell. Somebody else comes in behind you, and next thing you know, you lost the pool. I think that might have happened on one of my deals, but that I never even met with her, so it wasn't like I had anything involved with it. Just frustrating. People set up an appointment with you and you think you're going to at least meet with them, and then they call you up later and say, oh, we decided to go with somebody else. Didn't even give you a chance. Super frustrating. But some people, they just don't have like really a great ability to make a decision on stuff. The way you should get 3 bids and you should kind of look at them, compare apples to apples. A lot of times what they do is they just go in and they go with the cheapest company, and then when things go sideways, then they're always really shocked how they got screwed over and da-da-da-da-da. And a lot of it could have been prevented by talking to a couple more people. I know I had one, not recently, but couple years ago, where the guy was trying to build a pool before his brother died. He had cancer, and I was trying to give them the best price that I could, and didn't hear from him, so I just assumed that maybe he just didn't go with it. But no, he ended up calling me up, had a big nightmare with his pool company. They were not coming back to finish the pool. So then he's asking me if I know anybody that could plaster his pool so he could get it done. And usually I don't have anybody for them, but I thought, well, he was a nice guy. It just, you make decisions based on what people are telling you, whether it's true or not. That's how you make the decision. So I didn't really hold it against him. I called the owner and asked him if I could give him the number for our plaster guy, which I did, and he finished his pool. But again, frustrating, because they could have done it with the right company to begin with. And once they start looking at it, and if I were to look at it, it'd be like, oh my God, you didn't even get the right pump. You got this, there's no autofill on it. It just never ends, all the things that are put on there to cheapen it. And that's what drew them in. So sometimes getting these pools, and they go with somebody because they're cheaper, to me, it's almost like greed in the reverse. You're trying to get something for nothing. Everybody's out there at a certain price, and this one person's got a super, super low price. And instead of thinking, I wonder why it's so low, or even asking me, they just go ahead and get signed up with them. Then later, when they have a problem, it's happened more than once, they remember me as being a nice guy. Maybe I could call to Dave and he could help us get this thing finished. That happens all the time. It's frustrating. when they're doing their bids, they're in a pretty big, powerful situation because they have to choose who they want to build the pool. But then they lose all of their strength when they decide to go with a company, especially if the company's bad, because now the company's got most of their money and the pools wasn't done the way they thought it was going to be done. And no matter what, there's always companies, we know about them in our industry, that are about ready to go out of business. And of course, they're giving pools away at this point. And of course, there's people that will do it. Then later they want to have laws passed, the why did I get screwed over? Well, you went with the cheapest company possible. You take on risk when you do that. It's very frustrating when you're working with a legitimate company to have to deal with people that get sucked into it every year, over and over and over. They say that they think there's something wrong with contracting laws, in reality, the problem is they don't know how to bid. They don't know how to run an estimate. It's frustrating. I mean, how do you know the company's good or not? Well, we've been around for 60 years. That's one way. You price it out to 3 different people, and we're not the cheapest because we've been around for a while. But when we're done, you'll be happy with the project. The quality will be there. May not be happy with the inspectors and the inspections and all the crazy stuff we have to go through, but with the actual pool, you'll be happy. Most people are happy too with the construction, time, but that's mostly because I'm telling them what it's going to take. I say 4 to 6 weeks to get a permit. And we have other companies saying, oh, we can get it in a week, or we can dig it tomorrow. And the only way they could dig it tomorrow is they'd have to dig it without a permit. It's not illegal to do that. It's just not advised. If you could imagine a house that you're going to start building a house, pouring the foundation, and you don't have the permits for it, it's not illegal. Well, maybe in that case it might be illegal. It should be illegal, but it definitely is not a smart thing to do. But we go through it every year. I will have people that went with another company and they remember me as being a nice guy, so they call me back. Can we finish their pool? A lot of times the company doesn't want to finish it because the quality of the work, we'd be responsible for it. You can tell when we look at it, it wasn't done right. Yeah, this lady was all about, I want to get signed up with you, Dave. I'm going to sign up with you when I see you next time. And I'm like, well, you should get the price first. I'm still going to give her the price. But then I thought, well, I don't know. She sounds pretty much wants to get started. So maybe I will go ahead and fill out a contract. I've done that before where I filled it out and it doesn't get signed up, but eventually it gets signed up, like the person in Galt. That took a couple of extra appointments to get to, but eventually he did sign up. So much pressure on it. All right, there you go. Price it.